त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। Pranams everyone. We are in the second chapter. We had completed Sloka 56. We have to go to 57. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Yah sarvatranabhisnehaḥ tat prapya śubha nabhinandati na dveṣṭi tasya prajna pratishtita. Yah sarvatranabhisnehaḥ tat prapya śubham nabhinandati na dveṣṭi tasya prajna pratishtita. So Bhagavan is answering the question of Arjuna. Arjuna had asked his question in Sloka 54. Sthitha Prajnasya ka bhasha Sthitadihi kim prabhashet kim asit kim vrajet. So he wanted to know how the Sthitha Prajna behaves. So the way we have to understand is how he actually is there when he is alone, how he deals with his prarabdha, how he deals with other people. So we already saw in Sloka 55, Bhagavan gave two lakshanas there. Prajahati yada kaman was one, where sarvan, where the Sthitha Prajna is able to give up or destroy all his desires. Sarvan kaman. Then in the same sloka, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. He is contented within himself. He's happy with himself. Satisfied himself. That is the second lakshana. Then in the last class we saw Sloka 56 where Bhagavan gave Dukkeshu Anudigna Manaha Sukeshu Vigata Sprihaha. A Jnani is one whose mind is unperturbed by any troubles. He is not disturbed by any troubles. Dukkeshu Anudvigna Manaha. He is calm whenever he is in trouble or what we see as trouble, what we generally see as trouble. And Sukeshu Vigata Sprihaha. He does not have a craving for these pleasant situations to continue. If it comes, it's okay. He will not seek for it. That is the third lakshana that Bhagavan gave. Then in the fourth lakshana, Bhagavan gave Vitaraga Bhayakrodha. A Jnani is one who is free from attachment, fear and anger. Because he is not attached, he does not have attachment, he is also free from fear and anger. Bhagavan said finally, Sthitadihi Muniruchyate. He is said to be a wise man of firm knowledge. So we saw that. Now Bhagavan is continuing the lakshana of a Jnani in Sloka 57 now. And the essence of this sloka is a Jnani is Asanga Swarupi. Asanga Swarupi means he is not attached to anything. We already saw Vitaraga. Here Bhagavan says he is unattached again. He is saying he is unattached to anything. And this has to be understood. When you say unattached, it has to be understood properly. It does not mean that a Jnani will not deal with people. It does not mean that a Jnani will not talk to people. Or it does not mean that a Jnani will only talk in a particular language. All these definitions, if you see, Vigataspraha, Anudvigna Manaha, Vitaraga Bhayakrodaha, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha, all these are at a deep emotional level. It cannot be seen by others outside. And therefore, a Jnani will be like any other normal person in this world. If he is a father, he will be a father. If he is a mother, she is a mother, she is a mother. A Jnani can be a friend. There will be no external indication. There will be no saffron robes, no beard, no halo around the head, no japamala. Not that a Jnani should not have all these things. A Jnani could have all these things, but these are not the indicators. The change happens at a very deep mental level. It's not visible to the eyes or visible for the eyes. And Bhagavan gives the same definition here. He says, Yash sarvatra anabhisnehaḥ. Yash sarvatra anabhisnehaḥ tattat prapya śubha. Śubha. Śubha means, again, favorable and unfavorable conditions. We saw dukkeshu sukheshu in the last sloka. Here Bhagavan says śubha aśubham. And in this śubha aśubham, he will be asangaha. He will be without any attachment. That is what Bhagavan says. Now if you go to the sloka, yah sarvatra anabhisnehaḥ. Yah anabhisnehaḥ. He, yaha means he, anabhisnehaḥ, he is unattached. Anabhisnehaḥ, unattached. Where is he unattached? Bhagavan says, sarvatra anabhisnehaḥ. He is unattached everywhere. Which means, at all times, with all people, at all places, he is unattached. Very important that Bhagavan wants to make a point here. It is sarvatra. Various situations come and go. A Jnani does not have an attachment on any of them. He will act as a witness. Situations come and go, he is not attached to it. Then he says, tattat prapya śubha aśubham. Prapya means on facing, on getting, or facing. Prapti, on getting it, prapya. Tattat śubha aśubham. Again, śubha aśubham, I just said, favorable, unfavorable conditions. In other words, we can also say mangalam and amangalam situations. Positive, negative. And what will he not do in that? What will he not do? Bhagavan says, na abhinandati na dveṣṭi. Na abhinandati. Na abhinandati na dveṣṭi. Na abhinandati. Abhinandan. We would have heard this word some time back. Famous pilot's name was Abhinandan. Abhinandan means rejoice. So, na abhinandati. He does not rejoice. Neither does he rejoice. Rejoice means what? We say going head over heels. In Tamil we say talakal puriyala. So some good situations come, we are extremely happy. Whatever if we had expected something and it is very difficult to achieve, we have achieved it. We have got, say for example, our children get some admission in a very prestigious institution which we thought we will never get, or get a great job, we become head over heels. Bhagavan says, na abhinandati, neither does he rejoice, na dveṣṭi, nor does he hate, nor does he despise a situation. And what happens to such a person? Bhagavan says, tasya prajna pratishtita. His knowledge, tasya prajna, his knowledge, pratishtita, becomes firm, will become firm, is firm. So now we will do a small vichara on this, śubha aśubham. Śubha aśubham, we saw that as favorable and unfavorable conditions. One other interpretation is Dharma and Adharma. See what happens in the beginning, before we came to this Shastric study, before we came to Vedanta, we could have been doing Adharma, and we would have got used to doing it. In the sense, we don't even realize that this is Adharma. We would have not had any guilt feeling or a feeling that we are doing anything bad. Say small bits and pieces here and there, we lie, we say something, it's okay. We never thought it's actually bad. We are doing Adharma, we don't feel bad for doing that. But then after listening to all these Shastra lectures and all, what happens is, by imbibing a little bit of Sattva Guna, our mind would have caught hold of Dharma. Then what happens is, when something happens according to Dharma, it's okay. But when something does not happen according to Dharma, our mind will be unwilling to accept. For example, if a person, it's like this, if a person had got used to keeping a place clean, right? And suppose he has not been keeping it clean, and then he starts saying, okay, now I'm going to keep it clean. I will take every little step to actually have this place clean. And he wants to follow Shaucham. So he makes it clean and orderly. What happens is, somebody comes in and then actually keeps something out of place, or they make the place dirty, then this person will not be able to tolerate it. Because of the circumstances, if he has not been able to maintain that order, the mind gets affected. So at first, this person was in Adharma, he was following Asaucham, it didn't affect him, because he didn't even know what about Dharma. Then he comes to know about Dharma. Saucham is one of the important qualities of a spiritual seeker. Then also it's fine, because he's been able to follow that. But when things go against Dharma, his mind gets affected. So, whereas Bhagavan says, na abhinandati, na dveṣṭi, a person should not get affected. Does that mean we will allow Adharma and be on the side of Adharma? No. That's not the thing. But we should understand our limitations. If some Adharma is happening, we are not an avatara. In the sense, we have not come here to uphold and sustain Dharma. That is only done by avatara. It is the duty of Bhagavan. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. That is the duty of Bhagavan. We should not be talking like, if somebody is following Adharma, we say, why is he doing like that? Why is he behaving like this? Why are politicians like that? Why are our relatives like that? We call out all these Adharma that is happening, or the Adharma that is happening around us. It is not our duty to protect Dharma for the world. What is our duty? Our duty is to follow Dharma in our activities. Others, whether they are following Dharma or Adharma, should not be our concern at all. And it can never be a reason for us to feel bad. And moreover, one important thing that we should realize is, when we call out these people, that these people are doing this, these people are doing this, first of all, we should realize we are not morally superior. That we want to uphold the Dharma at all times is not true. Because if only things concern us, where we are victims of that Dharma, so to speak, we want to talk about Dharma at that point of time. If there is some Adharma happening and we are actually kind of getting benefited out of it, we do not talk about upholding Dharma. We will, at that time, we will even try to justify that Adharma. So, or if it does not concern us at all, it does not concern at all, we will not even bother about whether it is Dharma or Adharma. So if we analyze truly, what will happen is we will talk about Dharma only when we have an attachment towards it. There is a raga, there is an attachment. I say, for example, I like this person. I am attached to this person, and therefore anything that happens to or happens against him, if somebody is following Adharma against that person, I become unhappy. Whereas there is another person whom I don't like, and there is some Adharma happening against him, I don't even bother, I may even rejoice. So it all boils down to whether if I have an attachment. If there is no attachment, we will treat Dharma and Adharma equally. So Bhagavan says, here Jnani treats everything equally. Śubha, aśubham. He treats them equally. Both Dharma and Adharma, he treats them equally. His mind does not bother about Dharma or Adharma. It does not mean that a Jnani wishes for Adharma. That is not the case. He understands this prapancha, this universe, this world, this jagat is a mixture of both good and bad. It's a mixture of Dharma and Adharma. It will always be the case. It has been the case from the times of Rama till now. It will continue to be there. It will always be a mixture of Dharma and Adharma. We must understand, even when we use the word truth, when we say the truth, the word exists because there is a falsehood. If there is no falsehood in this world at all, then there is no need for a word called truth. The word good exists because there is also bad. Shastra says this world is dvandvatmaka jagat. It's always in a pair of opposites. There is always pairs of opposites here. Health is there because there exists disease. If there is no disease, nobody will say lead a healthy life. And all these pairs of opposites, dvandvatmaka jagat, the highest among them is Dharma and Adharma. Hot and cold, good and bad, praise and humiliation, everything there are pairs of opposites. The highest among them is Dharma, Adharma. Now Bhagavan says a Jnani goes beyond these pairs of opposites. All the pairs of opposites. Such that even Dharma and Adharma, he takes them in an equanimous manner. He has the same mental makeup. Na abhinandati, na dveṣṭi. Neither liking for it, nor hatred for it. So this is one for na abhinandati, na dveṣṭi. One other Sampradaya Guru gives a different meaning for na abhinandati, na dveṣṭi. He says, a Jnani, when na abhinandati, he will not appreciate, he will not praise a person who brings the sukham situation. So there is always this comfort, a comfortable situation, somebody can bring you comfort. Say for example, somebody can say, okay, if I want to go out, okay, I'll bring a car, I will take you in a car. Or somebody can say, okay, you are living, I will make your house, I'll air condition your house. So a Jnani could have a person who could bring him some sukham situation. That kind of a Jnani will not appreciate or praise or make stuti, do stuti for that person who brings a sukham situation, nor will he condemn or criticize the person who brings him dukkham also. So na abhinandati na dveṣṭi can also be interpreted that way. Whereas for us, how it works, we always, if someone gives us something, if someone gives us some or does something good for us, we will try to keep them at top of our head. We will try to use the opportunity everywhere to praise that person. And if someone does a small mistake, we criticize them. And we start judging them. They are always like that. They are never like this. We criticize them. So 5 minutes back we would have praised them, but immediately once they bring in some bit of uncomfort for us or some bit of dukkham for us, we will start criticizing them. We will drop them on the floor. So here Bhagavan says, a Jnani will neither praise nor criticize anyone. Na abhinandati na dveṣṭi. A person with this attitude, so we have to understand, nor praise nor criticize the person who brings sukham or dukkham is one interpretation. The second interpretation is, a Jnani does not rejoice or criticize both in times of Dharma and Adharma happening around him. Two interpretations. So, a person who has this attitude, tasya prajna pratishtita. His knowledge is firm, will become firm. Pratishtita. Pratishtita we have heard. In temple we say a vigraham pratishtita. Pratishtha pandrathu we say. Which means established. So a Jnani's knowledge is placed firm. The Jnana has to establish itself firmly in the intellect and the mind. So these are the lakshanas of Jnani. So from 55 to 57, Bhagavan had given Sthitha Prajna Lakshana. He had given 5 lakshanas so far. Prajahati yada kaman atmanyeva atmana tushtaha dukkeshu anudvigna manaha sukeshu vigataspраha vitaraga bhaya krodha. And then the 5th one is now dukkeshu anudvigna manaha anabhisnehaḥ tattat prapya śubha na abhinandati na dveṣṭi. So he is unattached to both sukham as well as asukham, and he neither praises or nor hates that situation or hates the person who brings the sukham or dukkham. So 5. Now moving on, Bhagavan is going to the next sloka. We'll go to the next sloka. Bhagavan has given the lakshana. Now he's giving some other information. We will see that. Sloka number 58. Yada samharate chayam kūrmongānīva sarvaṣah indriyāni indriyārtebhyah tasya prajñā pratishtita. Yada samharate chayam kūrmongānīva sarvaṣah indriyāni indriyārtebhyah tasya prajñā pratishtita. So Bhagavan had given the lakshanas from 55 to 57. He is going to continue to give the lakshanas in 69 to 72 also at the end of the chapter. But here from 58, this sloka until 68, 11 slokas, Bhagavan is going to give the Sthitha Prajna Upaya. How to become a Sthitha Prajna. He is giving the path or the way to become a Sthitha Prajna. And why Bhagavan wants to change this topic? Because he has given an understanding of this Jnani, how this Jnani will behave. Now the question comes is, how can we become one like him? When will I be like him? How to become this? So Bhagavan is saying, how to convert your Jnana to Jnana Nishtha. How to become, he is not giving how to become a Jnani here. Understand this. How to convert the Jnana into Jnana Nishtha is what is covered between 58 and 68. First, let us remind ourselves on how to become or how to attain the Jnana. First, to attain Jnana, we should have we should be aware of how we get ourselves qualified to receive jnana. So what are the qualifications? Sadhana chatushtayam. Viveka vairagya, samadhi shakka sampatti and mumukshutvam. Then we get qualified to get jnana. Then we get the jnana, and then finally we have to convert the jnana to jnana nishtha. Conversion of jnana to jnana nishtha is only what Bhagavan is dealing here. To get that qualification of shakka sampatti and viveka vairagya, especially for viveka vairagya and mumukshutvam, those three we have to do karma yoga. We have already seen the karma yoga portion. So with karma yoga as a sadhana, where I am able to do things with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, do my duties without any expectation, I attain Chitta Shuddhi, and as a result of Chitta Shuddhi, I basically get Viveka Vairagya. I get a pure mind, I get a clean mind. Now for Shama Damaha, Uparamaha, Titiksha, Samadhanam, Shraddha, I continue to read the Shastras, at the same time do some meditation, upasanas, or continue to remember God at all times. I get those Shakka Sampatti. Then after Karma Yoga, we come to Jnana Yoga. And what is Jnana Yoga? Jnana Yoga means listening to the Shastras. Listening to Shastras is called as Shravanam. And the Shastras, what happens when we listen to Shastras? Shastras give us some new knowledge, some information. That knowledge which we didn't have it before. Isn't it? Because we have not, and this knowledge is on who? It is on us. It is about ourselves. When people say, okay, tell me about you, and this is a typical question that people ask when you go for an interview, for example, tell me about yourself. Then people say, they will talk about their biodata. I did this, I did that, all this it does not talk about the true self. So Shastras is the one, when we do the Shravanam. Shravanam is when I listen to the Shastras, it tells me about my true self. As to who am I. And then it also explains my relationship with the world. My relationship with the world, Jagat, as we so call it. And also it explains my relationship with Ishvara. So three things it says. Who am I? What's my relationship with the world? What's my relationship with Ishvara? And then finally concludes saying that that is I, self, I'm not different from Ishvara. And that is the Mahavakya Tattvam. We say, Tattvam Asi. Thou that art. Shastra says, basically, that we are Brahman. We are Brahman, one who is free from samsara. Shastras give us that knowledge. That you are the Atma, which we saw in this same chapter between 12 to 24. We talked about Atma Lakshanas. And how Atma is, the Atma is all pervading, Nityam, Sarvagataha, Akarta, Abhokta. We saw all those things. Now we may get a doubt. How Shastra says that I am this Atma, but how is this true? And Shastra says, I am not a samsari, I am mukta. I am liberated. But in my experience, I am a samsara. I am a samsari. I am in samsara. When we get that doubt, Shastras say, no, that, that you are a samsari, or you think you are a samsari, because you identify or included the body when you say I. When you say I, you have included this body and mind, and therefore you have taken yourself to be a samsari. And so when I remove the body from this I, and I retain as I understand my I to be the Atma, then the Atma is totally unrelated to samsara. And these are the things we understand through the process of Shravanam and Mananam. Mananam is where I clarify my doubts. I keep reflecting what Shastra had said, try to reflect it every time, and I get a doubt, I clarify them. I go back to the Shastras or the Guru, get it clarified, and that is called as Mananam. So now these two sadhanas have been performed, Shravanam and Mananam. What have we got? We have attained this knowledge, Atmajnana knowledge, or Atmajnana is knowledge about Atma, and that is what Shastras think about me. So that's the thing. I mean, we should not go and look for, what others think about ourselves. We always worry about what the other person thinks about me. Instead, we should be going to ask Shastras and ask that question. And Shastra says, we are Purnam. I am Purnam, Atma is Purnam, Atma is Brahma Swarupam. And that the self, the I, does not have any craving. It does not lack anything. I do not have any insecurity. I do not have any lacking. I do not have any craving. I do not fear anything. I do not have death. I am indestructible. That is what Shastras teaches. Now the jnana we have attained. I have attained this jnana, and I am also clear that I have this jnana. I have no doubts about it, because I have seen that through the various ways of understanding the self, which we have seen, Panchakosha Viveka, Avastatraya Viveka, we have seen that I have eliminated this body, I am not the body, or through the Drigdrishya Viveka, where I understand that anything that I am able to experience is not me. I have removed the body and the mind, because I am able to experience the body and mind, and therefore I am not this body and mind, and I have understood myself to be the Atma. And there is no doubt about it. Until this portion is called as Prajna. Prajna. So this jnana is called Prajna by Bhagavan. Tasya Prajna. The jnana by which I know myself to be a Mukta Swarupa. That I do not need any security. I do not have samsara. Now, after that, we realize that even though I have got this knowledge, the way I deal with people, the way I deal with things, they have not changed at all. I have got this knowledge that I am this Atma, and yet when I deal with people and when I deal with situations, it does not seem to have, I'm not able to actually convert that into a useful experience. But that's because in day-to-day life, although I know I am not this body and mind, I mean, logically I can see myself that I am not the body and mind, but I seem to be forgetting that at times, and therefore those times when I actually deal with this world, I am dealing in the same way, in the same manner in which I had dealt with the world even before this jnana came. So there seems to be no difference, and I see myself as a samsari at times. I get anger, I get fear, and earlier I didn't used to feel bad about it. Now I started feeling bad about it because Earlier I didn't know that I was Atma Swarupa, so I didn't feel bad. Okay, that's my svabhava, that's how I am, so I can get angry, I can get fear, that's okay. But now I know that I am actually Atma Swarupa, but I am still getting angry and I am getting fear. Now I start feeling bad about it also now. Earlier I was a samsari, I didn't know I was a samsari, I was happy being a samsari. Now, I know I am not a samsari, but I am still see myself as a samsari, so I am even more now unhappy about it, or I get this feeling that why is it not working for me? What's the reason? And the reason is the knowledge is only at a superficial level. It has not gone in deeply. So our mind, we can divide them into the I don't know what's the word, top mind, deep mind, whatever. Certain activities, when we actually practice again and again, when we do abhyasa, when we do practice again and again, even without our knowledge, it will go deep into our mind. So, and what is deep in our mind is what will exhibit itself as swabhava. So the swabhava comes because something has gone deep into the mind and it exhibits automatically, naturally, spontaneously. So, natural spontaneous action comes out of deep mind. That things that we do without much effort, they come from deep mind. For example, we naturally become angry without much effort. Some small, somebody sparks something slightly there, we get immediately angry. There's no need for us to put any effort for that. It is because we have practiced it so much, we have done so much about abhyasa for over so many lives, it has gone deep into our mind and it has become our svabhava. So anything we practice, we put effort, will definitely go deep into our mind. Now this jnana is lying at the top. It has not gone in deep. And it has not changed our svabhava. Therefore, in normal cases, when somebody discuss about Atma or about Advaita, or when we are sitting and discussing here in the class, we realize, I am not this body, I am not this mind. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jihve nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu. I am able to understand all those things in this class and even when I am in discussion. Or even in normal situations. But when I face some extreme situations, like extreme happiness or extreme difficulty, or somebody, needling us, somebody actually criticizing us, our svabhava gets exhibited at that time, and at that time this jnana does not work. And why does this jnana not work? And why? And what is lacking for this jnana to work? It's not that I don't have the knowledge, but my personality seems to be oscillating between one side I am a samsari, one side I am a jnani. One side samsari, one side I have this samsari behavior, one side I have this understanding of this jnana. So for this knowledge to go deep, Shastras prescribe a sadhana. And the benefit of this sadhana is that the knowledge goes deep into our mind and it will become our personality. It becomes our swarupa, it becomes our svabhava. That sadhana is called as Nidhidhyasana. Now to get that knowledge, to go deep into the mind is Nidhidhyasana, and it is a compulsory sadhana. It's not that I get the knowledge, I listen and that's enough. Now I have this knowledge. It's not like a physics, chemistry, biology. I get this knowledge, I am able to write a paper on it, I'm able to answer questions, I get pass. I get my degree. It's not like that. And now I understand what is jnana, I understand what is samsara, I understand the panchakosha viveka, I know all these things. So I am able to do it, and therefore now I can call myself a jnani. No, it's not like that. It's not like a doctorate or a degree. That knowledge has to establish itself deeply into my mind. And that happens only through Nidhidhyasana. And that is when Bhagavan says, Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. The jnana will become deep rooted, will become firm knowledge. Jnana becomes jnana nishta. Now that Bhagavan says here is, Nidhidhyasana is a sadhana, yes, we all know. But Bhagavan is giving us something to go along with the Nidhidhyasana. It's not just Nidhidhyasana that you have to do. There is something else that has to go along with it. It's like this. Sometimes whenever a doctor prescribes medicine, especially if you see in homeopathy and Ayurvedic, right? When they prescribe a medicine, they also prescribe a diet to go along with the medicine. The medicine itself could be bitter. But then they will say something more to go with it. They will say no coffee, no tea, no snacks, no oily food, no curd. All these things they will say. It makes even more difficult. But we know that only if we follow the diet, that medicine will work. The medicine by itself will not work if we don't follow the diet. In the same way, for this Nidhidhyasana to work, there is a certain other sadhanas that need to go along with it for this Nidhidhyasana to work, to convert that jnana to jnana nishta. And what are those two sadhanas? The two sadhanas are, Bhagavan prescribes two sadhanas. Two sadhanas are Damaha, Shamaha. The sensory Damaha is, we already saw. Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, we saw already. Within that, there is Damaha and Shamaha. Damaha is sensory discipline. Shamaha is mental discipline. So these are the diets for the aushadam, the medicine to work. What is the medicine? Nidhidhyasana. Medicine gives us the direct relief, but for the medicine to work, the diet has to be followed. Diet is not followed, medicine will not work. So if I am not able to do the Damaha, Shamaha, Nidhidhyasana will not work. And how does Damaha and Shamaha help Nidhidhyasana to convert our jnana to jnana nishta? Why is Damaha and Shamaha important for Nidhidhyasana? We will do a small vichara. What is Nidhidhyasana first? And where Nidhidhyasana is converting this knowledge so that it is available at what is in our intellect as jnana. It has to be available at our mind, at a mental level. So that when I am dealing with the world, I am able to use that intellect, come to the mind and actually use that for my day-to-day activities. So Nidhidhyasana is a process by which the knowledge gets firmly established into my mind, in my mind. So it is manapradhana. It is an activity or an exercise for the mind. Okay. Remember, for Shravanam, we will have to go to a guru, we will have to go to his place, we will have to prostrate, we will have to listen to his teaching with Shraddha. We apply our intellect, we listen to it deeply, we understand it. So at that point of time, there are various samagri, various faculties that are involved. So I prostrate physically, I do Guru Seva. Intellectually I listen, mentally I try to absorb, I listen with the ears. So there are various faculties involved. But for Nidhidhyasana, a person who has come to this level, It is not that he does not have the intellect. He has already got this knowledge in his intellect. He clearly understands what the Shastra says. Years of Shravanam has made sure that the knowledge has entered his intellect. Now, for this intellect to go deep into the mind, he does meditation, dhyana. Nidhidhyasana is actually nothing but meditation. And for that, one should go to a quiet, lonely place, take away, and he practices living with that knowledge. Therefore, we can call Nidhidhyasana as dhyana. It's one form of meditation. And for doing this dhyana, we need not go to any kind of forest where we can find a quiet time. Wherever we are, we just need to bring our mental faculty. We just need to involve our mental faculty. It is a mind-oriented sadhana. We need not involve ears or anything for that or any other indriyas. So we should just bring out the whatever we have understood from the Shastras. We bring it to our mind. We keep reflecting and we keep absorbing it again and again. The same thought needs to be brought again and again in the mind. It needs to be brought for a lengthy period of time. It needs to be kept. All the Atma Lakshanas have to be brought again and again and saying that, okay, yes, I am this. I need to keep bringing it again and again. And for me to be able to bring this into my mind again and again, my mind needs to be calm. Only in a relatively calm mind we can do this dhyana. We will be able to bring this thought again and again. And by bringing this thought and again, my mind becomes even more calmer. But unless I have initially a calm mind, I will not be able to bring this thought at all. Meditation itself is to give calmness. But even to do meditation, we need some bit of quietude in our mind. We need to, somewhat calm mind is needed. So in the same way for Nidhidhyasana, we need the mind to be calm. And which means the mind has to be in Sattva Guna. If the mind is in Rajas, then we will not be able to do meditation. That is why, when the house, there is an event, there is a festival, there are some activities, the mind becomes extremely active. And in those days, if somebody who has been practicing meditation, they will not be able to sit and meditate because there are so much of activities happening, and even if the activities are not happening in the place where you are, the surrounding areas will actually give you, mind becomes restless. Or if someone for example, someone we know or we love passes away, we will not be able to meditate at that point of time because the mind is not calm. So whether it is good news, some festival or some bad news, we will not be able to meditate. As I said, the example, something that we have expecting in our family, which we are badly looking forward to, which is very rare to happen. For example, an admission in a prestigious college or a job that they would want to work for. Something has happened, the medical seat or engineering seat, whatever, or buying that dream house, whatever. We are trying to do that and we got it. And even if, for example, our children may probably get it, more than the children, we will be more happy for them. And at that time, the mind will not be calm at all. The meditation is not possible. So, because the mind is in a state of exhilaration, excitement, which means the mind is disturbed. Good disturbance, but still a disturbance. Similarly, bad news, sorrowful news, mind will not meditate. Disturbance, bad disturbance. Still disturbance. So for any kind of meditation, dhyanam to be performed, the mind has to be relatively calm. It should not be excited, it should not be sad. There should not be any pride, there should not be any greed. So there should not be any attachment, there should not be any hatred. Because then what happens is the mind constantly, wherever the mind is attached, it will start going there. Or even hatred, that person will keep coming into our mind. So, Shravanam, it's not like that. Even if the mind is not calm, we can do it. Because, when the mind doesn't get calm, we do it again. We probably understand a little bit. We just move on. We keep understanding. We'll try to get that into our intellect somehow. But for meditation, a calm mind is must. And here we are talking about the qualification required to do this sadhana called Nidhidhyasana. And depending on how well we do this sadhana alone, we can say how well this jnana is converted to jnana nishtha. So the mind has the main instrument for Nidhidhyasana, and therefore the mind has to be calm. Now the question is, how can a mind lose its calmness? When can the mind get disturbed? When can the mind get fragmented? Multiple thoughts coming into my mind. When can it happen? Shastra says it can happen in two ways. First is through the indriyas, the sense organs. Ears, skin, eyes, tongue, nose. Shabda, and the mind can lose its peace. The mind gets the information through these 5 sense organs. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. The words through the ears, the touch through the skin. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. The form through the eyes. The taste through the tongue. And the smell through the nose. So the mind gets this information through these sense organs. And through these inputs from the sense organs, the mind comprehends the world. The mind is able to say that this person looks like this. This is the smell here. This is how the touch feels. This is how I feel cold. The mind says it's cold. That's because through the skin. So it gets the inputs from these 5 sense organs. That's why when we say in meditation, people ask, to meditate early in the morning. That's because when we actually wake up and sit for meditation, it's better. Because if we see something before meditation, for example, we decide to do meditation in the morning, but before meditation we see an office mail or a WhatsApp message, or we talk to someone, and there could be something that we do not like, or something that is kind of exciting, then what happens? The mind gets disturbed. And the meditation would not be possible, would not make any difference, or would not have its effect. Because the mind has already got this raga dvesha now. And that sensory experience that I have done by a call, through a call, or through a WhatsApp message, or by reading the mail, seeing the mail, what has happened? It has disturbed my mind. Disturbed my relative peace of mind. So through the 5 sense organs, the mind can get disturbed and lose its peace. When can it lose? Any time. And that's why we sometimes wish I had not seen that. I wish I had not heard that. I wish I had not spoken like that. Because what happens? Because I have done that, the mind has got disturbed. And once the mind is disturbed, it's not possible to do Nidhidhyasana. Only if the mind is relatively peace, as I said, Nidhidhyasana as a sadhana is possible. So the mind has to be protected carefully. How do we protect jewelry? In the same manner. How do we protect jewelry? It is normally when you have a jewelry, what will happen? It will be in a bag, and that bag will be in a box, and that will be in a bigger bag, which in turns will be put in a safe locked drawer. That locked drawer will be inside a safety vault. which is inside a shelf. So everything is kind of, the jewelry is well protected. We take so much effort to protect jewelry. In the same manner, our mind has to be protected from morning till evening. And how do we protect this mind? It's easy. How does it lose its peace? It loses its peace from the external world. And therefore, the mind has to be protected from the external world. And therefore, the external world inputs are got through the sense organs. And therefore, the first control or the first direct control is sensory discipline. So, when we do not want to listen to unwanted things, or when we make, in other words, when will the mind be calm? When I do not listen to unwanted things. When I do not see unwanted things, the mind will be calm. When I do not speak unwanted things, the mind will be calm. And that's why we say, as I said, the meditation is recommended early in the morning, because the mind would not have opened its account through these interactions, through the sense organs. So the mind is relatively still fresh after the sleep, and it would not have been spoiled through the transactions, and therefore meditation is slightly possible, easily possible during the early hours of morning. In the evening, if we try to sit for meditation, what happens? Whatever happened in the office, whatever happened through the day, whatever interactions I have done through the day with my in-laws, with my neighbors, with my children, with my family, all those thoughts will start coming. The tension that would have accumulated through the day will come into our mind. We will not be able to meditate. The mind will not be relaxed. The mind will not be calm. So, just like, a still water is clear, but once we throw a stone, the water gets ripples and we are not able to see the water clearly, or what is inside the water clearly. So in the same way, how to keep the mind calm? By not hearing, by not touching, by not seeing, by not tasting, by not smelling things that can make me lose the calmness. So whatever will affect my mental calmness, I should not do. That is called as sensory discipline. That is called as Damaha. And especially what happens is, the words we hear. The words we hear is called as, the angry words, the humiliating words. Somebody talked to me in a demeaning manner. Somebody criticized me. The mind immediately loses my calmness. That's why Bhagavan says, Shabdadi Vishyan Tyaktva. He says in another place. So, this is the first sadhana, sensory discipline. We will see about the next discipline in the next class, and also about Nidhidhyasana. Any questions or comments before we close? Okay. If not, we will see again in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om.